Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, everyone. We got a lot going on in Minneapolis. Last 17 days, it's getting worse. We're going to talk about Don Lemon, former CNN journalist. We're going to talk about, is this a civil rights violation? Civil rights violation. We are going to discuss what happened in the church, what is going on today, and much, much more in this live. Thank you, Mike, for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, what in the world is going on this evening? Wait to see what's going on. More eruption happening in Minneapolis and New York. New York's getting out of control. But there's a little bit of a difference in New York, and we're going to talk about what's actually happened a little bit better in New York. Also, we know about California. We're going to listen in to Don Lemon, who is an African-American, right? He's married to a Caucasian man, okay? Who comes out yesterday and he wants to sue this man, the pastor, and the church because he's a gay man and a black man. Well, excuse me, Mr. Lemon. First of all, you don't belong going into a church. That is there's a crime itself. And Tim Walz is really under heat, and he'll be going to prison, in my opinion, soon. To me, it's a civil rights violation, and these protesters all should be held responsible. These agitators, okay? So we're going to listen to Don Lemon. This is Don Lemon harassing this pastor. Listen.
Public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who said,
I have to take care of my flock.
but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me.
We're here.
All right, so please don't push me. So Don Lemon, this is the pastor of a church that apparently, what was he doing in this church? What was Don Lemon doing in this church? Well, apparently Don Lemon, now this could be the one who's running the show on the streets. We know that Tim Walz, the governor, is behind this, and Ion Omar and that mayor, okay? However, this Don Lemon might be the agitator himself, okay? And Donald Trump is ready now finally to use the Insurrection Act. He wants to sue him. He says he's prejudiced, he's Caucasian, that 85% of the people in the church were white. Excuse me, when do you pick out a color in church? And he says, hey, and they're all Republicans. Well, I don't care if they're all Republicans. And by the way, we don't know if that's the truth. And he was trying to find the ICE agent. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Sal. Welcome in, welcome in. I appreciate the likes. You guys want to get the popcorn, the beer, the water, the coffee, whatever. Because this is getting out of control. And even my Democrat people that I work with here in Las Vegas, Sal, you're right. What happened to the party has lost their mind. Don Lemon has just cost the 20 midterms, the party forever. And for me, Don Lemon is he might be facing prison, what he did to this church. All right, let's listen in.
We're here to worship Jesus. That's why we're here. Okay, that's why we're here. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding and
we're about
love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a
No
Christian?
one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked if you actually would also leave from this building.
You don't want us to.
Unless you're here to worship. Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, so later on, that's Don Lemon, folks. Later on, Don Lemon went on CNN. Remember, he was fired from CNN? Yeah, even CNN had enough of this piece of shit. And he went on there and he started crying, I'm gay. I'm black. I want my rights. I'm Italian, American. I'm short. I want my effing rights. Ladies and gentlemen, forget his rights. What he did, I have nothing against being gay or black. It's not the issue. He walked into a church and he assumed that the ICE agent was there. He is stalking. That's stalking. I'm not an attorney and I don't work for the police department. But I can tell you this. That is a civil right violation. Donald Trump will have him held responsible. And for me, that is the troll. That is the agitator. That's the guy behind it. He works for the paid protesters, the agitators, if I would. He is. He came out. He went into church on a Sunday and he became an agitator. He went up to this pastor who was praying, believing in God, walks in to ask him what he thinks about the protest. And then he says, well, who is she there? ICE agent. You don't go into the church. Who the hell do you think you are? We need these people and Tim Walz. Again, ladies and gentlemen, when you have a governor, and by the way, Don Lemon, I don't even think he lives in Minnesota. Okay? He has no right to go into church. This, guys, I'm very upset. Okay? Here, for those who are just coming in, and then we're going to go to the riots, because we have major riots happening right now, too. Here we go.
What do you think of this?
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will...
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship.
Our freedom of speech in church, you have no right to go into church unless you're there to worship, to pray, to honor God, and honor the church of this church, to worship. You have no right to harass this pastor at all. Zero. And this man here, Don Lemon, who got fired from CNN, in my opinion, he is one of the ringleaders on the agitators and paid protesters that happened in Minneapolis. And he should be held totally 100% responsible. And Tim Walz, that piece of shit,
We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I'm going to be very respectful. Please don't push me.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Ozzy, how are you? Welcome in, Ozzy Ray.
That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding and
we're about worship.
love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a
No
Christian?
one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to...
Unless you're here to worship. Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. What do you think of this?
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
Okay, real quick before we move on, guys. Is Don Lemon, let me revise it. And before I go any farther, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Also, thank you, Mr. Captain Max from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. It's an honor and a privilege to have you on here, Captain Max. Thank you so much on behalf of me and my wife. Now, thank you, my moderators. This man, you think it was okay for Don Lemon, who's now an independent journalist, to walk into church to harass this pastor on a Sunday morning, early afternoon in Minneapolis? Doors are open. Doors are open for whites, blacks, gays, and straights, people who worship God, to go in and bring his team in. This is Don Lemon's media in the church, and ask him about what his thoughts are. And to pretty much later on, we come to find out he was looking for an ICE agent. Where's the ICE agent? Not the ICE agent that did his job about a week ago and took out Renee Good. We're talking about a normal ICE agent who we don't even know was in this church, by the way. I want everybody to stay with me. He could have been there. Let's just say for conversation purpose that one of the ICE agents went to this church. Does this man have any right to go in there and harass and bring in the protesters and the agitators in the church? Of course not, folks. Don Lemon's in big trouble. He obvious wasn't thinking. Tim Walz is in big trouble. Obvious wasn't thinking when he came out and said, we are at war with the government and Donald Trump. We are at war. This is a governor, a mayor who is agitating, and now it leads to this. And wait till you see what's going on tonight. I'm going to play this one last time. We're going to move on for those who are coming in.
Well, there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me.
We're here.
Whoa! Please don't push me. Please don't push me. You are in his house. He, Don Lemon, is in his house, God's house. He didn't push him. He's getting in his face. You do not at any time go into a church with this BS stuff. Don Lemon, we will hunt you down. You will be in prison. Tim Walz, prison. Mayor Fried with the hair funny in his face, prison. We need to take over, folks, Minnesota. I am sick and tired. I'm hoping that President Trump will use the Insurrection Act now because it's getting worse. Wait till you see some of the lives that we have coming up and some of the wait till you see what's going on tonight on this Tuesday.
Here to worship Jesus. That's why we're here. Okay, that's why we're here. That's what we're about.
Do you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these?
Will Jesus be understanding? You are wrong, Mr. Lemon.
Well, we're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a
No
Christian?
one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked if you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to.
He asked him to leave, folks. This pastor asked him very nicely, we're asking you to leave. To leave. And he's pressing charges. Don Lemon wants everybody, he wants an explanation why he was wrong to go in his church.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, so that's that. That's that, folks. For me, it's getting it's getting heated up. Trump is ready. He is pissed. The President of the United States and J.D. Vance are ready to step in and use the Resurrection Act now. This is going nuts. And for me, this Don Lemon, we all know now. I asked this on Sunday. Remember before we found out, I said, who do you think is running the Democrat? Who's running the chaos in Minneapolis? Don Lemon, Tim Walz, Mayor Fried, Gavin Newsom. The list continues. The party is going to go down, folks. They're going to go down one by one. That's right. Thank you, Billy. Thank you. Now, he also went on to CNN. Hold on one second. Trump. Okay, here we go. Listen to this. This is from New York Post. Listen to this, folks.
Welcome to Fast Food
Hold
Lawyers.
on one
Can I
second.
interest you in a Chapter
Yeah,
7
pay some
bankruptcy
bills.
special?
Well,
Thank
I
you,
have
Billy.
kids, but I don't.
Thank you for
All us
sponsoring.
wants to do is get them out of our country, bring them to prisons and jails.
10
and
times,
mental
Billy
institutions
French,
from where
thank
they
you.
come. That's all they want to do. They're patriots, and they have to be abused by guys like Don Lemon, who's a loser, lightweight. I saw him the way he walked in that church. It was terrible. I have such respect for.
All right, I'm going to pause right there. Welcoming Crystal Richmond. Hey, moderators, thank you so much for being here. The stuff is heated up. If you don't know, Don Lemon went into a church. That was Sunday. Yesterday, chaos continued on the Martin Luther King holiday. Chaos continues in New York. The only difference in New York, it's run by Democrats. The only difference there is at least the mayor, Madani, and the police department are behind and are making more arrests on the protesters. Now here's President Trump discussing Don Lemon's action. Janine, thank you.
That pastor, he was so calm. He was so nice. He was just accosted. What they did in that church was horrible yesterday. Look at it here. 24 convictions. 24 times convicted. They're not charges, these are convictions. So he comes from outside the country. Do you think he's going to be good here? Convicted 24 times, he's going to be good here, right? It doesn't work that way. It's a man murderer. It's one of many. One of many. All they want to do is get him out. They want to take him out.
All right. For those who are confused, ladies and gentlemen, some of the Democrats, some of the people on here, the reason, let me just let you know what's going on. The reason Donald Trump has implemented ICE agents, federal ICE agents, and now another 2,000 in Minneapolis, another 1,000 in California, 1,000 in Portland, is because of this man here. Minnesota, worst of the worst, murderer. We got rapists, we got folks, we got people from all over the country, okay, coming here, pouring here into the United States under Joe Biden and 22, and they are hurting Americans. They are ripping us off with fraud with Somalia. And this is the reason why I have ICE agents. You really think ICE agents go knocking on residents' doors because they didn't pay a credit card? Do you think they're going in there because they had a traffic ticket expire? Do you think they're going in there because, somebody didn't pay their child support for 2 weeks? No. ICE agents are there for this man. Rapists, murderers, mental institution, narcotics. This is why they're there. But these idiots, these agitators, and Don Lemon to go into a church and worship where people are praying, who have hope, everlasting life. There's nothing wrong with that. To go in there, and like Trump alluded to, he was very nice. Because try walking into a Catholic church with a priest, with a few Italians in there. Let me tell you something. The outcome wouldn't be so nice. Let's listen in to Donald Trump a little bit more. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm an American, and I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of what's going on.
Of our country. And we're met with paid agitators, insurrectionists, troublemakers. They're paid. When the woman was shot, I felt terribly about that. And I understand both sides of it. But when she was shot, there was another woman that was screaming shame, 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 right? You saw it so loud.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
A professional opera singer. She was so loud and so professional.
Let me just turn the camera around real quick. And first of all, shout out to Stephanie for help sponsoring today's live. We appreciate it. Thank you, moderators. Everybody from Mike to Janine to Crystal to Isabel. Thank you, Captain Max for the Las Vegas Metro Police Department. That's right, Captain Max on and above. Taking out the bad guys. The bad guys, if you know what I mean. Thank you. Cody, thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, I sound a little hyper tonight, and I haven't even had my coffee yet. And the reason I'm hyper is this. I am an American who loves the United States of America. I love hardworking people. I even love that people who are here from Mexico and Venezuela and Ecuador, all over the country, it don't matter. I love them that come here. But I want them to come here through due process. And I'm getting sick of it. We closed the border, accomplished. Now we got to take out the bad guys, the bad women who are coming here and pouring drugs and rapists and murders. There is nothing wrong with ICE agents. And if they want to go to church and support church, and for Don Lemon to go in there and count how many blacks and how many whites, how could he say there's 80? That's bullshit. And then he says he's gay, black. God bless you. It's not about being gay and black. You were wrong, Don Lemon. You were wrong. You used bad judgment. You went into a pastor in a church and you just didn't use common sense, which the Democrats don't have common sense, right? Who has common sense on here? Because most of us do. Why did we vote for Donald Trump? Common sense. Common sense. Clean this shit up. And I'm sorry, but I'm right. I would love for these agitators to go to Staten Island, New York, go to South Philadelphia, go to the Bronx. I would love these agitators to go there because you wouldn't have it for more than 1 minute, maybe 2. This is uncalled for. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been over 2 weeks now, and wait till you see the mass destruction that's happening on right now. And you have American people, ladies and gentlemen, who live there, who are encouraged in this. And I'm not talking about paid agitators. We know about paid agitators. I'm talking about everybody, young people mostly, going out there and calling this man, Donald Trump, all these terrible names and these ICE agents, and following the ICE agents into church, into restaurants. What the hell happened? I'll tell you what happened, folks. Listen to Donald Trump. Mandy, thank you so much. Thank you. I'll tell you what happened. Listen to Donald Trump.
She wasn't a woman that was hurt, like, oh, my heart's injured. She was a professional. Shame, shame. She's screaming, shame, shame. I said, that's not a normal person. That's a professional. These are professional agitators and professional people that want to see our country do badly.
Right.
But that's not happening because we have the hottest country anywhere in the world, despite this stuff. Look at this. All top of the line.
If you're injured in an accident, who you hire to represent you matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can hear Trump bleeding inside. You can hear the tense he has for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, he is so upset. It's a matter of time. He is hurt. He's hurt by these radical agitators. And Don Lemon, in my opinion, he has come out and told us who is running the agitators pay protest. It's Don Lemon. Until somebody else comes out, it's Don Lemon. Trump is broken. Ladies and gentlemen, are you broken? Are we broken on what we're seeing? There is nothing wrong with a Democrat on here. There is nothing wrong about gay, black, white, Hispanic, Republican, rhinos, MAGA, moderate Democrat. But I can tell you something. There is definitely something wrong with this new party, this cult that is destroying our streets of Minneapolis and California and New York and Portland as we very well speak. Justice needs to be done. Not physical justice, but jail time. Now, I'm not saying Don Lemon needs to go to jail for a long time, but he certainly needs to be woken up. Otherwise, he will continue, and other agitators will do this. And we haven't even got to Tim Walz. Tim Walz, Kamala Harris, Kamala, get the hell out of here, you lost. She knew this. She knew this, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I go any farther, thank you for the likes, subscribe if you haven't. I don't know what you're missing, because we're going to, ladies and gentlemen, we're digging into stuff here. We're going to be called the Wake Up Channel. We are going to be called Common Sense Wake Up Channel. Common Sense Wake Up. Okay? And by the way, we want our rights. You know what our rights are? White Caucasian, gay Caucasian, hillbilly Caucasian, black, Puerto Rican, Cuba, whoever, lesbian, white woman. We want our rights. You know what our rights are? Common sense. It's not about Donald Trump. It's not about the Republican Party. It's not about the Democrats. It's for us. Common sense. The streets need to be taken care of by ICE to get these bad guys, Venezuela, out of here. El Salvador, Mexico. Oh, there was a Chinese man, rapist from China. Raping. You want somebody coming over here from China? I don't care if they're from Italy. That's where my family's from. I don't care. If they're Italian, get rid of them too. I don't care. I don't care if they're German. I don't care. We have enough. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me out. Hear me out. We have a problem in the United States. We help out the homeless people on here. There's a problem with mental illness. We have a problem with homegrown. Let alone to worry about these bad men that are coming over here pouring drugs and raping and murdering our people. This man, Donald Trump, is a president for all. He will go down as the very best president ever. Ever. You can feel him. Let's watch him one more time, and then we're going to move on to the protests. This is New York Post.
Take the next step in treating your moderate to severe ulcerative colitis with
Now, while we
Entyvio,
wait for him
the
to come
only
on,
gut-focused treatment for UC.
All ICE wants to do is get them out of our country, bring them to prisons and jails and mental institutions from where they came. That's all they want to do. They're patriots, and they have to be abused by guys like Don Lemon, who's a...
They are patriots. I want to see every single person in this chat. If you could do me a big favor, put in patriot. They are patriots. They are 100% patriots. You know what, guys? These ICE agents are men and women. They are gay and white. They are black. They are Republicans. They are Democrats. They are independents. And they are there to do their job. They are patriots. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you. Thank you. They are patriots. And it's time that we take back America. And it doesn't mean to physically fight and cause chaos. Because that's not what we do. You notice I said that's not what we do? You notice I didn't say mega? It's called common sense. It's called common sense. We are patriots. They are patriots. They are patriots. Look at him. He is hurting. You see that? You see the tears in his heart, not his eyes. Do you feel Donald Trump? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just coming in, we are talking about the piece of shit Don Lemon. And his name is pronounced Don Lemon, like a lemon. Sorry, folks. I got to bite my tongue because I might say stuff I shouldn't say. So let me take a deep breath, as Isabel would say, my youngest moderator. Let me take a deep breath. All right, here's the story. Don Lemon is not a nice guy. Don Lemon is a sick, in my opinion, individual. He hates Donald Trump and the Republican Party so very much that he would go into a church harassing a pastor. Now listen to Donald Trump. I'm only going to show this. This will be the last time I show this. So let's listen.
Loser, lightweight. I saw him the way he walked in that church. It was terrible. I have such respect for that pastor. He was so calm. He was so nice. He was just accosted. What they did in that church was horrible yesterday. Look at it here. 24 convictions.
Wow.
24 times convicted. They're not charges. These are convictions. So he comes from outside the country. Do you think he's going to be good here? He's convicted 24 times. He's going to be good here, right? It doesn't work that way. It's a man murder. It's one of many. One of many. All they want to do is get...
Look at his face, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 2,200 in this chat, a little over. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our president. I've never heard President Trump so calm. You know why he's calm? I'll tell you why. Because he has something up his sleeve. You know what's up his sleeve? You know what's up his sleeve? He is going to bring in so many more federal agents and the National Guards. And he is going to sign, everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat. Insurrection Act. He is going to sign the Insurrection Act. And what that means for those who haven't heard of it, it was implemented in 1800. He's going to sign it and take control of not just Minneapolis, but every single blue state and red state that does not apply with the law and order. He's a president who's hurt. He's a president that wants justice. He's a president, heart goes out to women and men and young children who've been murdered and raped. Have you ever heard the Democrats ever call any of the families? Have you ever heard Nancy Pelosi, Pete Buttigieg, Chuck Schumer, President Biden, if you call him that, Barack Obama, who started this mess, ever once, ladies and gentlemen, ever heard them call the families, say, we are sorry for your loss. We are sorry. We are sorry we let so many people in. We are sorry that we elected a president who had stage 3 Alzheimer's. We are sorry that we made a judgment and put in a president who didn't care about Americans. We are sorry for your loss. We don't back up Donald Trump on every detail. I quote, this isn't from me, but this is what they should say. But we will respect law and order and let the ICE agents come in to the cities and states to protect and keep it safer. And the protesters and agitators, if you call them protesters, them as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that woman, Renee Good, may she rest in peace, would have been alive today. She made a very bad decision, and her lesbian wife did not help at all. The lesbian wife should have said, honey, Renee, ma'am, whatever she called her, you better get out of the car. Instead, she agitated. It's her fault as well. She agitated, and that's why her wife is not here and lost the 3 beautiful children left behind. He's a man who's feeling pain, folks. He's a man who's hurt. Are you guys hurt? Are you guys fed up? Is anybody else on here fed up? Are we proud to be an American? Do we want people like this man here to come here? No. No. We don't need it here. We don't want it here. So President Trump will have arrests being done very, very soon, folks. The Governor Tim Walz and Mayor Fried will be gone. Will be gone. Here he is here. He will be gone. Prison. That's where they belong. Prison. In my opinion. In my opinion.
Get them out. They want to take them out of our country. And we're met with paid agitators, insurrectionists, troublemakers. They're paid. You know, when the woman was shot, I felt terribly about that. And I understand both sides of it. But when she was shot, there was another woman that was screaming shame.
There you go. There you go. I've never seen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. I'm Sal. I've never seen but one time President Trump being calm. The other time when they tried to assassinate him, okay, in Butler, Pennsylvania. Did we forget about that? The assassination attempt? Did we forget about that? I've never seen him so calm, collective, and hurt. He's hurt. He's hurt. He's hurt in so many ways. He's hurt that America has been taken over from these agitators, people like Don Lemon, people like CNN, people like CNBC. He's also hurt that the woman, Renee Good, who lost her life. You can feel the pain. You know why he's thinking? He's thinking what I'm thinking and what you guys are thinking. Our prayers are with the family. It wasn't Renee's good. It's a shame. She made a bad decision. You know whose fault it was? It is the committee-run agitators run by Tim Walz. He's publicly come on and said these exact words. We are at war with the government. We meaning the United States. We are at war with President Trump. And guess what? Miss Renee Good, may she rest in peace, got caught up into this. In her head, we need to stop this. The fake news CNN, all of them, Fox 2, let's be honest, all of them, stop it. Let's talk about the American way. Let's talk about a better economy, a safer borders. Nothing's going to be perfect, and Trump's not perfect at all. But he's a leader and he cares. You can feel him hurt. And what's going on right now, wait till you see more chaos. And what is Governor Walz doing? Sleeping. Had a good meal tonight. Had a great meal. Fried. That piece of shit. Those guys, that for me is enough to put them behind bars. When you publicly come on and say those words. Now, I haven't got into fraud yet. I haven't even got into fraud yet. Allegedly. Allegedly. Let's say he's innocent. But once again, in Italian, I'll stop this each. Scutiato. I tell you what, he admitted that he knew about it. Either you knew about it or you're in on it, you got to go. If that was us, we would be in jail. We would need an attorney. We would need a public defender. And he is home. It's snowing in Minnesota in his bed, sleeping. And he's saying, go, 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 agitators. Go, go, go. It's a distraction on my fraud. He doesn't care about the agitators. He doesn't care even about Don Lemon. All he cares about is saving his ass. And Kamala Harris knew this. That's why she picked Tim Walz as the vice president. She knew. Barack Obama knew. Biden didn't know. Biden didn't know anything. Biden, the only thing he knew about was it wasn't getting enough gosh darn potato chips in his bag on the State of the Union. Did we all forget about that? I don't. I take notes. Biden only cared about ice cream, no potato chips, and that's that. And let's be honest, that's the truth. Barack Obama knew about this. Barack Obama knew about it, Mike.
Shame, 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 right? You sound so loud. Like a professional opera singer. She was so loud and so professional. She wasn't a woman that was hurt like, oh, my heart's injured. She was a professional. She's shame, shame. She's screaming, shame, shame. I said, that's not a normal person. That's a professional.
Yes.
These are professional agitators and professional people that want to see our country do badly.
100%.
But that's not happening because we have the hottest country anywhere in the world, despite this stuff. Look at this. All top of the line.
Looking for tax help? Now there are TurboTax experts.
What a damn shame, folks. But guess what? It's going to end. It is going to end, I believe, real soon. And for those who didn't see, I'll show it one last time. For the new viewers coming in, thank you so much for being here. Hey, shout out to the moderators. We appreciate all. For those who missed, I'm going to show this one last time of the Pastor David in Easterwood at Minneapolis that was called a Republican church. Are you kidding me? When do we ever say we have a Republican church? A Democrat? 85% white people. They're dictators. Have we lost our minds? When do we ever say it's a white church, a black church, a Puerto Rican church, an Italian church? A cult. And Don Lemon walks in and says, don't push me. I want my rights. I'm gay. I'm black. I want my rights. I'm Italian and short. We all want our rights. The hillbillies want their rights. The women want their rights. The lesbians, we all want our rights. Who you think you are, Don Lemon? You were wrong. Let's listen. I'm going to show this one last time. Give me a couple seconds.
What do you think of it? I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
There were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful.
Amen.
Please don't push me down.
We're here to worship Jesus. That's why we're here. Okay, that's why we're here. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding and
We're about
love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a
No one
Christian?
is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked if you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to
Unless you're here to worship. Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. What do you think of it?
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to...
Thank you very much. Did you hear him? Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear Don Lemon? Yeah, he was on CNN. He cried on CNN. Oh, before he got fired. He was on CNN. They fired his ass. Now he's an independent journalist trying to look bad. Trying to look bad. I'm a badass. I'll go into church. Oh, I'm a Christian. Give me a break. I'm not even going to show when he went on CNN. When he with, or was it CNN? I forget what news outlet. Hey, thank you for the donations that are coming in. It's not on notice. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. 36 times we have a donation coming in. Let me just acknowledge some of this coming in here. Thank you so very much. We appreciate it. Thank you for help sponsoring today's live. Common Sense. Thank you so very much for all those who participated in donations and likes and hearts. We appreciate it in so many ways. You know what? Who else appreciates? All of us, all Americans. It's about time we wake up. It's about time we wake up and love the United States flag and love our president. Ardell, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you all. Now, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you what's going on because the riots and the agitators are still at it. So give me a few seconds and then we're going to show what is going on in Minneapolis because you're going to be surprised. Some of you are not going to be surprised. Some of you are not going to be surprised. And by the way, while we find this, let me see here. So, I'm going to stop it there. I got to get a cigar. Guys, I know it's dark. I have to do something here. I got to light a cigar. This, what we're seeing right now, is going to stop real soon. We have a president of the United States that we just seen. He's hurt in so many ways. He explained real briefly on why ICE agents are there. He showed that guy. He showed how many people that are who poured in and 2022 under administration run by different leaders. Elizabeth Warren, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and many more. This, what we're going to see, what we're seeing right now, is going to stop real soon. Real soon. And by the way, I'm hearing just a few minutes ago that some of the postal services, they want to go on this one-day strike. Whoa! Don't they get paid by government? Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Postal Service get paid by the government? They want to shut down one day. They say, we got to shut down. They want to shut down schools. They want to shut down and say, they want to continue hunting down the ICE agents. I'm going to say this for the last time. These ICE agents are not going in looking for parking tickets. They're not looking for American people that are behind on the bill, maybe late on a credit card. By the way, speaking of credit cards, if one of my mods can remind me in about a few minutes, I want to talk about what Trump wants to do with the credit cards and the craziness, interest rates they're putting on them credit cards. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay your credit cards. All right, but back to this. They're not going into a home. They're not going into church. They're not going into schools. No, they're looking for people that are rapists, murderers, and that kind of stuff. And yeah, every now and then they're going to catch somebody who was here who didn't do that, who was from Venezuela, who was from Mexico, who was from China, from El Salvador. And guess what? Maybe they're nice. I don't give two shits if they're nice. I'm sorry. I got to get some off my chest. I'm not going to bite my tongue. I don't give two shits if they're nice. Get them the hell back. Get them back. Then come over here, fly, have a little bit of money, and pay, process, and become a citizen of the United States of America. And guess what? You will be respected. I don't care what the hell you do. As long as you work, mind your business, and have common sense, I don't care if you're a Democrat. This is what this is about. And Don Lemon doesn't understand that. The Democrats don't understand this. And that's why you have these people, chaos, agitators. There's 1,500 soldiers on standby. Trump has announced Tuesday, today, that there's 1,500 soldiers on standby as tensions flare in Minnesota and the immigration crackdown / N18G as in Greg. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And for me, Governor Tim Walz is 100% the instigator. He is the instigator. He's the agitator. He's hoping that things will just die down and everybody will forget about the fraud that's been committed since COVID. Way before that. In many states. In many states. And once again, just in case you're new. Oh, but it's happening in red states too. Not as much, but let's just say it is. Guess what? I don't care if they're in red states. Investigate the red states as well. Fraud is fraud. If we do fraud, what's going to happen to us? We're going to pay some fines. What else is going to happen? We're going to jail. Viewers discretion advised for my Latino friends and English friends. Here we go with the racist stuff.
Because we've printed them for millions of small businesses over the past 25 years.
Here we go with the racist stuff. Once again. Yeah, I'm sick of it, folks. I'm just sick and tired of it. I mean, this looks like Iraq. This looks like Iran. Another country. This doesn't even look like Minneapolis, Minnesota. Lake, yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Release this. Say her name. Lake and Raleigh. Thank you. Appreciate all your comments tonight. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, does this look like United States of America? All right. I'm looking at some comments here. Shout out to Maribel, our moderator, Maribel. Shout out to Janine and Crystal. Mike? Captain Max? Who in here in the chat? Who in here in the chat are all for the Insurrection Act? Who in here in the chat, in simple words, are for Donald Trump to take over Minneapolis? Huh? And have 1,500 soldiers on standby to come in and take control. Are we sick of this? Is anybody else getting sick of this? Are we getting tired? If you're an American, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican or independent or gay, lesbian, straight, white, black, Jewish, Italian, Filipino, so on and so forth. Are we tired of this? 100% I'm saying, are we tired of this? This is not about Donald Trump, folks. You guys know that. I know that. Hey, I want to shout out to some of the members in here. Barber. If you're a member, put in a comment in case I missed you. I think I missed a couple members. I just want to acknowledge the members because soon we're going to have a members live real soon. So I just want to see who's on here tonight. Once again, Barber. Richard. Shout out to Richard. Thank you for your support, Richard, and your donations in the past. Shout out to all members. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm getting fed up of what we're seeing in California, Minneapolis, Portland, New York. It is time, folks, for this man. It's time for this president to step in. Minnesota's worse. Right here. It's time. It's time to crack down and investigate, take over the fraud and the governor. And Don Lemon. Take him out to prison. Thank you for 378 of the likes. Back to the live stream here. Shout out to News 18. News 18. News 18, Minneapolis. Thank you, News 18. We appreciate you, News 18. Ardell, it's all because you're a big part of it, Ardell. I seen that comment. Ardell, thank you so very much, my friend. Ardell, one of our loyal subscribers. This is some of the stuff they've been doing. Spitting. So this is what they're doing. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, these are paid protesters. Some. These are people that are coming from other states. These are people listening to Tim Walz, Chuck Schumer, Mayor Fried, Don Lemon. Don Lemon exposed himself, ladies and gentlemen. He exposed himself. Oh, yes, he did. Because he crossed the line. He went into the church. And he'll be fined. And for me, he should be prosecuted. To go in there and torture. He said he was a Christian. He went and tortured that pastor. In the middle. Not at the end. Not after service. Well, for me, not at all. Not in the beginning. He didn't go through the back door and say, "Hi, who's the pastor? Can I have an interview with you?" No. He walked in with his reporter. If I did that, you did that, anybody on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram walked into a church, we would be arrested if we did that kind of stuff. Thank you for the $5 donation. Appreciate you. You rock. If we walked in to church, not to worship, to interview a pastor, we would be in big trouble, folks. And Don Lemon knew he was wrong. He doesn't care. They, when I say they, the new party, this new radical cult, agitated party, it's not a Democrat, folks. If you think this is a Democrat party, you are wrong. They are wrong in so many ways. So they're looking for ICE in the church. His first thing, where's ICE? Even if ICE is there, you think a pastor is going to say, "Oh, he's sitting in the front. Go get him." Hey, are you kidding me? Oh, it's run by a Republican party. Later, Don Lemon, let me see if I can find it. You guys want to watch it together? He was talking, I think it was a CNN analyst. He said, "Oh, well, it's a Republican church." When have we heard of a Republican church? When? A Democrat church? When? I thought church was for all who go to worship, to believe in God or Jesus, whatever your religion is, to have a little faith, a little positive, to get away from the rest of the world for an hour or two on a Sunday. When did it become Republican or Democrat or gay African American? When? We have lost our minds. Well, not us, but this new so-called cult party. Now, I'm going to find Don Lemon's interview. I got to watch it with you guys. So I'm going to look for it. So give me about 10 seconds or less. Let me see. I want to see Don Lemon with this. I think it was CNN. Let me clear this out. Hold on one second. Let's see here. We want Don Lemon. Don, D-O-N, Don. I shouldn't be laughing. I can't believe what we're seeing in America. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Now, I know I said 5 seconds, but I'm using one hand here. Don Lemon. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Let's see what they got to say here. Hold on.
All right, look, I don't know who needs to hear this, but my man just tried that.
Welcome
new
in, guys.
100 milligram
Welcome in.
generic
Appreciate you
Viagra
guys.
For only 87 cents a pop.
Don Lemon is being put on notice by the DOJ after he documented a group of anti-ICE protesters in St. Paul, Minnesota, who entered a church on Sunday morning and loudly interrupted the service.
Take a look at this video from the service.
Renee Good! Renee Good! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
The protesters were reportedly under the impression that the church's pastor was working with federal immigration enforcement. Lemon, for his part, said he had no affiliations with the protesters and was simply trying to report on the latest developments in Minnesota following the shooting death of Renee Good nearly 2 weeks ago. Here's part of the video from the protest.
So the protesters are complaining, church members and leaders, they stopped the service. A lot of people, a number of people have left. There are some who are still sitting here.
Look what he did. Look, Don Lemon put on notice by the DOJ after ICE church protest coverage. Man belongs in prison, along with Governor Tim Walz. Here you go.
So right now it's kind of mayhem in here. And there are some folks here who are praying. We're here just chronicling and reporting. We're not part of the activists, but we're here just reporting on them.
Lemon's denying any affiliation. He didn't just stop. I mean, it didn't stop the DOJ from identifying him as one of the agitators.
No respect for church. Thank you,
Dillon, the
Maribel.
Justice Department's Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, confirmed on X that the FBI had been activated to investigate the incident and said this on Benny Johnson's podcast following the incident.
We have a presumption of innocence in this country, so I want to preserve my ethical duties here. But let me just say that, you know, he's a journalist. He was a journalist. I don't know what he is now, but journalism is not a badge or a shield that protects you from criminal consequences when you are part of a crime. And I think the videos show how close he was to these folks.
Okay, well, guess what? When you're a journalist or when you are a reporter, you get close to the action. So
Okay,
I
but
don't.
you can't trespass.
He didn't trespass. He
What do you
video
mean?
recorded.
Whoa.
Video recorded churches in open forum. Like,
Do you guys agree with this lady? I quote, did you hear what she said? He did not trespass. Who in the chat believes that Mr. Don Lemon trespassed? What is she drinking on this show? He did not trespass? Excuse me, you went in with a mic. You went in and interrupt the service. Let me see what we have here coming in. He did not trespass. He most certainly did trespass. Barbara. Ladies and gentlemen, he most definitely did. This woman is not thinking clearly. She is not. Well, first of all, she is. Because why? She is part of this quote unquote Democrat agitators. She's part of it.
where you can come pray. It's open for everyone. He went in there with a camera and recorded and said, as I'm seeing protesters are doing this, you heard his voice explaining play by play, like a sports announcer, like Dick Vitale, what was happening in there.
He is no sports announcer. Ladies and gentlemen, are we listening to this woman? That wasn't a sports or folks. He went into a church. This lady, I don't know if I can listen anymore. Should we listen more?
Understand why people would say that he's part of the protest. Did you see him with a sign?
I don't know
Did he
whether
bum
he was
rush
part of the protest or not, but he was not. Well, okay, but you can't be recording like you can't in church. You have to be. You can sit in the pews and listen to the preacher.
So no one ever records church? No one ever goes in there with a camera? I mean, I've seen cameras in my church.
Okay, I don't know whether he was.
This is not against the law to record church.
Okay, it was against the. Okay, what about the protesters?
The protesters did their own thing. He said he followed a group. He was already in Minnesota. He followed a group where they were going to the protest.
What are they even doing?
Are we listening, folks? Are we listening to this, folks? Are we listening to this lady? Oh, he followed the protesters in. How about if he wanted any dignity? Why don't he say, "Hey, I'm Don Lemon. I worked on CNN. I got fired. I don't think it's a good idea to go into church. I don't think we should. I think that draws the line. We're going to be in trouble." What is this lady talking about? This younger man is correct. We are correct. She is wrong in so many ways. So many ways. Are you kidding me? I'm not surprised. I am not surprised.
Okay, let me break it down.
Why is this church responsible for good?
I'm glad you asked that. So Pastor David Easterwood, he's allegedly serving as the ICE field director in Minnesota, right? He would be the field director of an entire ICE running organization, and he's also a pastor of this huge...
Whoa. The pastor is now... let's listen. I'm sorry, guys. Let's listen a little bit more.
church. And so people are there saying,
hold on, I got to turn a camera around, acknowledge our donations. Let's see here. Richard, you rock, my friend. Richard, thank you so very much for certainly the donation now and our previous, not on those. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. This lady's lost her mind. This woman is... Thank you, Richard.
okay, well, excuse me, sir, how is the same person preaching the good word of the law, Christian man, also the field director for ICE here, and you've seen the indications, but you're not saying that this is a terrible thing that we've seen a woman die. You're not preaching the good word in that way. If you understand the Bible, Leviticus 19:13, love the foreigner as you love yourself. Why is he not preaching that?
No right to educate him on his faith. Or
yeah, but also maybe you shouldn't be a pastor if you preach loving thy foreigner as you love yourself.
Protesters, if they're still using the hands up, don't shoot slogan, which is false and a lie. That's from Michael Brown Ferguson. It has been debunked, definitively disproven in a federal DOJ investigation that it is a lie, that he did not have his hands on. That is not true. It is false. So they don't know what they're talking about. They're interrupting they're on private property, interrupting a religious service.
Thank you.
A religious service that has nothing to do with the events in Minneapolis.
The leader of the service,
Don Lemon, is interviewing people in the midst of the service.
The leader of the service has everything to do with ICE, allegedly. And so Christians in Minnesota,
there are Christians outside his home or outside the church. You can't just storm into the church, interrupt it, and shout a slogan that is false.
And there are Christian groups in Minnesota that are actively protesting ICE tactics. They're warning neighbors. They're part of these groups.
Good, and they have every right to do that.
All right, so they're saying, okay, what type of Christian are you, Pastor Easterwood? What type of Christian are you? They're asking, if you look at Matthew 25:35, I welcome a stranger as you welcome me. What type of Christian are you? Which Bible are you studying? Because you can't be the director of ICE and not condemn.
Matthew 35:25, you do not judge and put down a pastor, a priest, or any kind of leader in church, ma'am, with all due respect. I don't know what this lady is drinking or smoking, but obvious she is another of these quote-unquote hypnotized agitators, way far left, promoting more of this stuff. And that young man is correct. How the hell can you protect, or defend Mr. Don Lemon? How? Folks, he went into a church for the last time where you worship, and she's saying, even if he is an ICE protester, which he's not, he, Don Lemon, had no right. It wasn't a time or place. Ladies and gentlemen, the time and place, if he really wanted, first of all, you know how I feel by now, guys. This is not protest. It needs to stop. But for conversation, what Don Lemon should have done was waited till the service was over, went around the back, and said, hey, excuse me, beautiful church, are you running an ICE agent? We all know it's not true. Or do you know? First of all, it's none of his business, but you don't go in the middle of service. Do we understand that? This lady's lost her mind. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless America. We really needed to get together. We got to get a grip. Democrats, Republicans, my friends, we need to stand up. We need to remove these radical left and agitators and cult leaders, Antifa, Don Lemon, this lady, CNN. It's okay to debate about certain issues like tariff tax, economy, things like that, right? It's okay. But not this stuff. This is wrong in so many ways. You would have to be living under a rock to believe this was fine to go into a church. To be protesting, is Take Tuesday? This has been 17 days. 17 days of these protests. I don't think anybody forgot about Renee Good. I see both sides, like Donald Trump. It was a shame. Makes you rest in peace. It was horrible. But I'm going to say this for the new audience. You ready? Ladies and gentlemen, we make bad decisions in life. I've certainly made bad decisions in my life. Never hurt anybody, but made some very bad decisions. We make decisions. Sometimes we're helped by listening to a cult, and it is a cult. And we listen to these these agitators. I feel for her. This woman got hypnotized, made a wrong decision. However, when she made it there, she was asked not once, not twice, but 3, 4, 5 times from a federal ICE agent. She was on federal streets in Minneapolis. He says, please remove from the vehicle. Then please remove from your vehicle. And again, she accelerated in the ice and snow very fast. Could have took out ICE agents, could have took out innocent protesters, or excuse me, innocent people. She could have took out people that were for her belief. Her belief at the time was Somalians should get what they want. ICE is bad, whatever. She didn't belong there. Okay, now, the wife, the lesbian wife, had opportunities. She wasn't on the phone with her. She was right there in the car. Okay? She could have said, honey, Renee, get the hell out of the car. They're going to attack you. What did she do? She told the ICE agents to go have lunch. She called them terrible words and called them Nazis and called them this and that. She's just as guilty. If I was in a jury, I'd have her arrested as well. I'm sorry, I'm speaking the truth. You guys know I'm speaking the truth. I would hope to God, my wife, if I was doing something terrible and she knew I was wrong, that my wife would say, hey, what the hell are you doing? I would say, I better listen to my wife. Everybody think about that. I know you've made up your mind, and it's hard. It's hard on the ICE agent. That ICE agent has to put his head on his pillow saying, I had to do it. I feel bad. But man, if I didn't do it, I would not be here. Or my ICE agent fellow behind me wouldn't be here. And these people that are out there would not be here. More people would have been injured and maybe dead. Bad decisions, people. We got to think. And what's happening with Don Lemon and the rest of the chaos in Minneapolis, New York, Philadelphia, California, and Portland has to be stopped by it has to be stopped. I'm going to listen a little bit more of this woman, and I don't think I could take any more. But we need to put in the Insurrection Act as military troops are arriving shortly in Minneapolis.
That we're seeing some of these actions happen, and also be the person that welcomes all foreigners, but also you're leading a church. They're just trying to figure out, how do you know these people weren't...
What right do they, who don't even... I don't know who this group is, that they can say, we're not religious, but we think according to your values...
What makes you say they're not religious? What makes you say they're not religious? We don't know who these protesters are.
All I know is that they're shouting a slogan that is false, and they're violent. They're trespassing on private property.
You think that the Department of Justice should charge Don Lemon? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
You're recording on his phone.
Yes.
I don't know enough information about.
I do know enough
knowledge that this was going to happen ahead of time. So he deserves due process, and I support free speech. So we'd have to see. Now he is confused about this though, because I saw we didn't play this clip, but there's video of him interviewing. I think it was that pastor, or some other figure of significance in the church, and saying, but they have and he's interviewing the person. The person is complaining about these protesters being here, and Don Lemon says, but they have free speech rights, do they not?
I would 100% recommend somebody get certified through ISSA. Being certified has allowed me to create my own brand and to build something.
Everybody's right to their own opinion, but that woman is totally wrong about Don Lemon in so many ways. Here's something that...
We'll be back, but I guess...
Hold on. What is this? Hold on. What do we got here? What is this? What is this? Hold on 1 second here. I'm trying to figure out what this is here.
So Bovino just started.
Oh, hold on. This is good. I want to see this. This was the pastor. Hold on one second here.
Not walking around anymore. No, they can't intimidate us.
Mindspeak, welcome in. Thank you. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for the $5 donation. So I guess now we have federal streets are there on Google Maps. Who's maintenance those federal streets? Thank you.
We're just waiting on a couple more people who are speakers, and then we'll.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the protesters' call for the city and church. Hold on. Let me see. I want to see this if you guys don't mind. Let me see what happened here. I don't think I've seen this. So I'll be watching this together with you. Let's see. I think I'm...
Men in America.
There we go.
So we have to understand that when you are fighting for racial justice, equality, and civil rights, there's a large contingency within our population that does not want to hear the truth, that specializes in distractions and gaslightings and threats. As a matter of fact, I want to read to you all.
Stephanie, thank you for the floating heart.
It's one of many. But this is what a person wrote to me.
Thank you, Silo. Federal streets.
In church when you idiots came in. Good, speaking about Renee Good, deserves what she got, and you would have gotten the same, dumb bitch. So that's what someone wrote to me. And again, it's one of many emails that I have received from these MAGA supporters, from people who have a problem with the fact that we came into the church to confront an injustice.
MAGA supporters. Lady.
With the fact that you have an ICE.
Lady, you don't know me. You don't know people on here. MAGA, like we're some kind of a cult. MAGA, make America great again. Like we're some kind of cult. By the way, lady, just for your information, there's lesbians, there's gays, there's blacks, there's Puerto Ricans, there's Mexicans living here, legal, whites, Jewish, Italian, hillbillies, all types, right? We are for common sense to make America great. Who the hell you think you are calling us out that we're, excuse me, lady, excuse me. So this is a protester that calls for city church pastor to resign. She's pretty much in this. I missed this. So if you want to watch it together, it's probably a couple minutes. But what she's going to say is what I think is she's calling out now the pastor of the church to resign. That man was nice. That man is a pastor. He didn't go outside and did any kind of riots. He didn't go put a sign out and say F Trump. He didn't say F ICE. In fact, I'll go a little farther. He didn't have a Trump sign in the church or a flag, which I have no problem with, right? He's there on a Sunday morning giving people hope and preaching the Lord. That is unacceptable, this nation, to call the city and for the pastor to resign. And Tim Walz, don't worry, he'll come on. He'll come on live and say, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot about the fraud. We're at war with the government. We're at war with churches. That's going to be next. That's going to be next. We are at war with churches. Well, I expect, I've seen it all. We've seen a government shutdown for 42 days. Oh, should I remind everybody? What was 2020, 2019? Oh, a shutdown for 2 years. Did you guys get your unemployment? Did you guys get your self-employment unemployment? Did you get your SBA loans? I can sure the illegals did, huh? So I'm not surprised, folks. I'm not surprised that these women and men, these women are backing Don Lemon and Tim Walz up. Nothing surprises me. I am so happy to say we have a president and a leader, and like the flag behind me, the president who cares about all Americans, all middle class, Hispanic, blacks, whites, and so on and so forth. I want to hear a little bit more about this lady, what she has to say. She pissed me off already.
Director, not just an ICE agent, as some people have said, but the director of the ICE field office in the state of Minnesota, also serving as a pastor at City's Church in St. Paul.
Hand off your taxes to an expert in your neighborhood.
It's hard to listen to her.
Your TurboTax expert can file for you, so you don't have to miss a moment. You've got better things to do than taxes. Have a local
Very
TurboTax
difficult to
expert
listen to that
file
lady.
for you.
Hello?
This is Evil Bill with Big Bank. You didn't pay your debts and you owe us.
Give me a couple seconds.
Sorry, I'm struggling. I want to pay, but I can't.
You owe money.
You know, folks, I don't even think I can listen anymore to her. You know what? I can't. I don't think I can listen anymore to her. I mean, she is so confused to want to put the just turn the table around. I want to see what I was looking for was something. I wanted to see Don Lemon on. Was this it here? Hold on. Look at our president, folks. All right, take a look at the flag, guys. I'll be right back, and we're going to talk. I can't listen anymore with this lady. All right, I'm going to read some comments here. Well, what I was looking for was, it was Don Lemon, and I think it was CNN, and he tried to apologize. He really did. Don Lemon tried to apologize, but he turned it around, pretty much duplicate what that lady said. He pretty much turned it around. He was saying it was the pastor's fault. I was looking for that. Mind Speak, thank you so much. Appreciate your donation and big part in sponsoring these lives. Let's see here. Common sense will be used to take a different approach for ICE agents to do their job without getting the people, getting the people of the city or the state allocated. Thank you so much. You know, I don't think this is a very complicated situation on what's happening in Minneapolis. I believe one thing needs to be done, and it needs to be done right away. And for the troops to come in, implement the Insurrection Act. Donald Trump should have done it. If I'm ever going to call Donald Trump out, I'm going to call him out now. I would have done it 4 days ago, maybe 5. Enough is enough. And for this lady and other people out there voicing their opinion, which they're entitled to, just like I am, but to try to turn it and have the pastor. Hold on 1 second. I want to do something real quick here. I normally don't do this, but it's bothering me. So if it bothers me, what I do is I do this. And then I will do this. All right. I very seldom do that, but it was just annoying. All right. So some of the spam. So to turn it as a pastor of a church, whether you believe in God, I'm not here to judge on that. That's a whole nother subject. I don't see any problem with church. I do have a problem with Don Lemon or anybody going into a church and interrupt a service and to bring in your troops and your cameramen and your camera women into church. He will be held responsible. He will be facing multiple charges. But again, he's exposed himself. And I was thinking about who's running this. A lot of you, I asked this, Antifa, we know they're a big part, but it's Don Lemon. Don Lemon's made it clear. He is the real agitator. He is on boots on ground, agitating the agitators. He's cahoots. He's all cahoots with this. And so is Tim Walz and the mayor, Fried, or whatever the hell his name is. Another piece of shit. They made it publicly. They stand up there with those police department that are Democrats. I mean, they're doing their job. And we're at war. We don't want ICE. ICE, get the fuck out. I quote. Excuse my language, but... And they are on every couple nights on their news broadcasts or the news reports, press conferences. And they are... People are watching. Men and women in Minneapolis are watching. And they're saying to themselves, the governor says it's okay. We will do what we have to do. And that's what you have. And that's why you have chaos. And I'm hoping that Trump puts a stop to it now. So right now, where we're at, fast forward, I believe it's been 1,500 National Guards to go into Minneapolis and stop this. I don't want to see anybody interrupt a church. I don't see anybody interrupt a coffee shop, a doctor's office, a pizza business, you name it. Get the hell out of there and let law enforcement, police department, sheriff department, ICE federal agents do their job and get rid of these bad people. And the police department are there to protect. Supposed to put their badge aside. They're supposed to take that badge, whether they're Republican, excuse me, or Democrat, and put that away and do your job. Just like we have jobs, we do our jobs. We might not want to be in a situation and do it. Now, maybe you're a plumber and you got to go in underneath the sink, but you do it. Those police departments are supposed to be doing their job and to keep these protesters, rioters, whatever the hell you want to call them in the chat, out of there. I just see nothing wrong with it. These ICE agents are men and women, and they just want to go home to their families. They want to have dinner. They want to spread love. They want to eat. They're not there to take people out of their homes. They're not there. They're there to go to church. They're there to go just to have a life, to have a day off. They haven't even had a day off. They're there to just be like us. They just signed up. They signed up because they are a true American. They're a Democrat. They're American. There are Republicans out there. They don't tell you that. It's a shame what some of these people are doing in Minneapolis and New York and Philadelphia and Portland and California. I'm sick of it. Enough is enough. I'm hoping that tomorrow we see the streets cleaned up. All right, I'm going to read a few comments here before we go off. I couldn't see any more of that lady. That lady upset me in so many ways. Let's see here. I got rid of some of the spam. Hey, thank you, moderators, for cleaning up, speaking of mess, some of the spam we have on here. Thank you, Mike, Janine, Crystal, Richard, and many others that are on here each and every night, doing the best you can. We appreciate time to read comments and super chats. Aaron, thank you for the $10 donation. We appreciate you. All right. Just like the military, yes, I'm a Republican and happy with our president. Thank you, Aaron. But I know plenty of Democrats in the military that are still love this country, signed up because they are patriots. You know, I could not say it, Aaron. Aaron, you said it much better than I did. You really did. Really, really did. That's right. That's right. Absolutely. I have a cousin who was military, Democrat. You know what he says? I'm still a Democrat. You know what else he says? This is unacceptable. This riots, he calls it riots, unacceptable. He says open borders, unacceptable. He's just a Democrat because he believes in different issues, on tariffs, on different issues of Trump. He doesn't even particularly care about a lot of things that Trump's doing. But he says, I do respect the president. Just like I, who did not participate with Barack Obama. However, he was the president. And it upset me when certain people of my skin color would say certain names to Barack Obama. I was the first one to stand up. They said, oh, you like Barack Obama? I said, no. But you better respect him as the president. We will have a change soon. That's what we need to do. I believe he was the worst president ever. A lot of you are going to disagree and say, no, it was Biden. Well, remember, he was part of running this nation with Biden. Let's be honest. He's the worst president ever, Barack Obama. And then you can argue about Jimmy Carter. So you respect the president. So many people that are Democrats, who put their badge on, who are police officers, security, National Guards, federal ICE agents. By the way, if you're young, I'm not here, I don't work for federal ICE agent. If you love America and you want a good paying job, go ahead and sign up to be an ICE agent. They don't tell you the part that some of them are gay, Hispanic, African-American female. Oh, they're out there. They think they're all one race. They think they're dictators. They think they look like a certain image. Certain image. No. No. It's nuts. It's totally insane. Now, sure, there's a bad apple here and there. And I'm not referring to what happened. Sure, there's a bad doctor. Sure, there's a bad personal trainer. Sure, there's a bad nurse. You're going to have a couple. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's very low. And police, they're here to protect us. Like Trump said about an hour ago, they shows the picture. I think he was from Venezuela, or it doesn't matter, from another country, El Salvador. Murder. First degree. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this for the new audience. We have enough of our own problems here, of our homegrown whites. We had Italian, Mangione. I'm Italian. Mangione, Luigi. People are defending him. He was wrong. I don't care. We've had transgenders. Wrong. We've had whites, blacks. We got our own mess here. Our own sickos. We got to work on mental illness. We hope we can work on that together. To let alone worry about other countries pouring into American soil under Joseph Biden and Barack Obama. These men, majority, are sickos, and they don't belong here. And I'm sick and tired of hearing about, what about the nice woman who's from Mexico? What about the nice man from China? What about the nice guy in Venezuela who's nice, who came here illegal? What about them? Are you okay with them coming here? And the answer to that is, let me light a cigar. The answer to that is, no. Nobody belongs here illegal. It's a crime. Come here legal, as Trump would say, and go have a beautiful home and work hard. Put your kids through school. Do what you love. Support the flag and become American. I'm okay with it. I am okay with it. I'm perfectly fine. But I'm not okay with somebody that is nice. I'm sure they're nice. I'm sure some of these people want to escape. I don't blame them. United States is the best place to live. Right? I want to go back to Italy. I love Italy. I don't want to live there. You better respect the flag and come here legal. Enough is enough. I'm sick of things turning around, putting blame on the pastor. That pastor did nothing wrong. Now, I'm not saying that pastor's perfect. I don't know what his life is. But he did nothing wrong that day. He did everything right. He's doing what he loves to do. And Don Lemon was wrong. And now they want to turn it around and say he took it out on a black gay man. Bullshit. Bullshit. That pastor did nothing wrong. Now, I'm not saying Don Lemon needs to be sent to prison for the rest of his life, but justice needs to be made. Justice needs to be done with Ilhan Omar, who's illegal, who's married brothers, and having running daycare centers and shelters and food, and having nobody there but their own family, and giving them welfare, and collecting welfare and getting donations and sending money to Dubai, and we're paying for it and skipping taxes. That's a crime. Send it to Somalia, East Africa, running around butt naked on our tax money. That's bullshit. Enough is enough. I'm tired of saying, I feel sorry, but bullshit. I feel sorry for American people that we help out on this channel that are homeless, that me and my wife are helping out, that most of you guys participate and help out. I'm sick and tired of a woman who got a divorce and is having a hard time. Maybe she's black, maybe she's white, maybe she's Hispanic and needs assistance. we should give her assistance. Or the husband whose wife ran off, who has 3 kids. How about he gets assistance? How about a mother who has long-term illness of cancer or diabetes and can't work? How about we help them out? Shouldn't our taxpayer money help them out? How about a man who's 40 years old, who lost his job, who's having a hard time getting unemployment because he made a mistake on the internet and they're asking questions and he hasn't got a dime for 6 months, and then he gets it and he's late on his credit cards and his mortgage and he's on the street and now he's homeless like the man I ran into yesterday. I'm hurting for that because he made a mistake. The Somalis and Mexico, they don't even file for Medicaid, food stamps, SNAP benefits, whatever the hell you call it these days. Open sesame, give it to them. It's about helping our fellow Americans, our fellow Democrats, our fellow Republicans. Those people I just said. Not the Somalis, not the Mexicans that are illegal. Not the ones that are illegal here. The ones that are illegal if they're Mexican, Venezuela, and they're legal, we help them out. But these people that are pouring in our nation, get the hell out of here, scazziata. We don't want you here anymore. And that woman who called out MAGA as we're some kind of cult, get real, lady. We're not a cult. We're about making America great again. That's what we're about. All right, read a couple more comments. Whew, it's crazy, crazy, crazy what's happening here. Yeah, scazziata. And just for YouTube, well, they know what it is already. It just means unorganized. Or it also could mean stupid. It also could mean ugly. It can mean all that and a jumbo. Oh, what's a jumbo? All mixed up. That's an Italian talk. But anyhow. MAGA. You see a MAGA name on here. I love seeing a MAGA name. Hold on, I gotta acknowledge stuff like this. My father fought in World War II to protect this country from likes of you, Jasper, likes of me. Well, thank you for your father, and God bless anybody who fought for this country. But we got a world that's so Mega Man. Love it. We got a world that's so upside down right now. I thought we were heading in the right direction, but we're not. We are with the president. We are with the president, the vice president, secretary of state, majority of the cabinet, but we're not as human beings, we're not there yet. Yeah. Hey, I want to say thank you for 551 likes on this live stream. And once again, thank you for all those who participated in the likes. Thank you for those who participated in the super chats and donations and gifts and both. And all new subscribers, thank you so very much. Let us know where you're coming in from. And how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this, meaning the chaos, interruption of a church in Minneapolis, and that we've had this now for almost 17 days. What's your thoughts? They're lunatics. Yeah, there's so many names that we can call them right now. Lunatics, cult, unorganized, stupidity, hypnotized. So many names. I like hypnotized, though, because they are hypnotized. When I say they, some of these paid agitators. All right, I'm going to dump into a few more comments here. And then we're going to sign off. Now, make sure you have all notifications on for not only this live stream, for all your favorite YouTubes on his vertical lives. So, if you enjoy the content, it should notify you when we're coming live, which could be tomorrow. Could be even tonight because Trump has had enough. Let me know who's been on here since the beginning of the live. I'm just curious. Who's been on here since the beginning to watch President Trump? And you can feel the sorrow from him. Who's been here from the beginning? Palon. Who else has been here from the very beginning and felt the same way I'm feeling? Sadness from President Trump. Who's been here and we've seen the hurt from President Trump? Who else? You could feel the pain. Me? Thank you. Yep, send them back. Yep. More ice, please. Absolutely. Shave your head. Maybe. Thank you for liking and subscribing. By the one that says shave my head, I hope I made you laugh a little bit, and then you can go to bed. Logan, how are you? Thank you. It's all common sense, folks. It's all common sense. It's not about Donald Trump. It's not about this radical left. It's about common sense and loving America. That's it. That's that. Right, Sandra? Shout out to Sandra. I was watching Trump, but I wasn't in the chat. Have felt his pain over the last 2 weeks. Yeah, you really can. Barbara, thank you so much for your support. You know, Sandra, yeah, you're right. You can feel the pain. He's in so much pain. He just, aren't you glad that he's the president? Aren't you glad? Because he's everything that most of us on here would expect and nothing less. We would expect and nothing less, right? Yeah. I mean, if we had another president, I think it'd be 100 times worse. We would be in so much trouble. First of all, our economy would be destroyed. Anyhow, it's not even worth talking about thank God we have President Trump. And I mean that if we had another Republican president as well. I mean, not as bad, but let's be honest. I've said this before for the new subscribers. If Nikki Haley was president, I don't think we'd be as good right now. I mean, we'd be better than a Democrat, but we would still be in. Thank God we have this man. Yeah, more ice. Absolutely. Imagine having Hillary Clinton. Oh, my God. Another Scotziata. You wonder why Bill did a little entertainment when he was president. Think about it. Sorry, ladies. I mean, come on. All right. It's just a joke, guys. Yeah, if it was Hillary, forget it. Or Barack Obama. Yeah, I never trusted Nikki. Nikki Haley, whatever her name was. King David, what's going on? I hear you, my friend. I see it. Nikki Haley. George Bush was the GOAT? You think so? He was another horrible president. I call it as it is. Oh, wait a minute. He's calling out a Republican. Yeah, I don't care. He was another Scotziata. He wasn't as bad as Barack Obama, though. Let's be honest. Anyhow, time's running out on Don Lemon. Time's running out on Tim Walz. Time's running out on Mayor Fried. Time's running out on the Democrats. Time's running out on Chuck Schumer, the leader of the Democrat Party. Yeah, you can say it. Scotziad, Chuck Schumer. Time's running out on these people. Time's running out on The View, and time is running out on CNN. I never hear them say Lincoln Rod. I never hear them say, all they say is bad things on Trump. I never hear them once say, we feel bad for the family of the victims from the migrants, the illegals. I never hear They don't have to like Donald Trump. But I never hear them apologize. These people, like The View, how come they don't call them up and say, hey, hello, I'm CNN. I'm Anderson Cooper. I work for CNN. I'm sorry for what happened to your family. Our prayers and thoughts. Nah, they just turn things around. Oh, Don Lemon. Don Lemon got pushed. First of all, I didn't see Don Lemon get pushed. Did he get pushed? Second of all, he's a crybaby. He's a liar. And he belongs held responsible. And he should be in jail. Who got fired from CNN? That needs to tell you everything you need to know about Don Lemon. How the hell did you get fired from CNN? How do you get fired from CNN? Think about it. You must really done something bad. Don Lemon. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you don't like him because he's gay. What? Or you don't like him because he's black. What? Has nothing to do with it at all. And he's going to make it like that, though. He's going to turn it all around. Right? What a world. What's up, Texas? Felix. Candace Owens. Don't get me started with that lady. Candace Owens. Dan doing things. Candace. By the way, Dan doing things. I love the YouTube name. Candace Owens going crazy. Don't even. We're going to talk. We'll talk about that next live. Oh, shit. That another. Nick Shirley. Death threats to his family, to him. Why? 23-year-old Mormon who has balls, probably more balls than a lot of people to go and expose. They're going to try to hurt that guy. Guarantee you. Guarantee you. What's going on in Oklahoma? Martha from Oklahoma. Martha. Love that name. Martha. Beautiful. Shout out to Oklahoma. What the hell files you talking about? Oh, Epstein files? Bro. Democrats had their opportunity to expose those files many times in 4 years. But Biden did not one thing to expose them at all. What's going on in Utah? God bless Utah in so many ways. Great people in Utah. Great people. May Charlie Kirk rest in peace. Hold on. Dan doing things. You know, Dan, I'm hearing here's what's going on, Dan doing things. I hear that it's in the oven about that. That's going to be exposed. But he has other things to work on. He's heading to California to expose. Guys, have the notifications checked before we end this, please. We're going to expose California in front of everybody. I might be there with him. I might be there. We're going to expose that piece of shit. Gavin Newsom. Fraud A. Ready? Childcare. Fraud B. SNAP. Fraud C. Homeless. Never got to the homeless people. 3 counts. 3 counts. We are Charlie Kirk. First of all, thank you for saying that. And thank you for the donation. We appreciate it. On behalf of the channel. Thank you. Thank you. Taylor, Gavin for president. I think he has a 0.0% chance. In fact, I think he's in deep trouble. We will be talking about Gavin Newsom probably this week at some point. We're going to expose him too. We will be exposing him. They will need a lot of people to remove me in California. We're going to go there and dig up some stuff on him. Because what he does to the homeless people, we don't like on here. Because we help out the homeless. And we know we give the 100%. that guy, money funded by his own party, was sent to Newsom, and very little money got to the homeless in California and San Francisco. Very little got to government. He's another corruption, and it's going to be bigger. Believe it or not, it'll be much larger in California. I'm pointing this way because that's California. I know it's to your left, but to me it's to my right, which heads to California, south, and bigger than Minneapolis, much bigger and wider. He will be sitting right next to Tim Walz. They will be there crying. They will be crying together. And Mayor Bass, I think her name's Bass, B-A-S-S, and also Mayor Fry in Minneapolis. Both, all of them. All be sitting together with Don Lemon. With Don Lemon right in the middle, crying, but I'm gay, but I'm black. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being gay and black, but you did wrong. Conservatives will end up like Charlie Kirk. $2 donation. I think that was a threat. I take that very personal there. Okay? Very personal. So be careful what you say. All right, let's move on. That was a threat. Not good. What's wrong with people? Not good. Think he can come on here and I don't care if it's a $2 donation, a $1,000 donation, $5,000 donation, $500. I don't care who you are to make that kind of threat. Get the hell out of here. All right, I'll read a few more comments here. What's going on in Colorado? God bless. Sure was a threat. But you know what? I don't blame that person. You know what's going on? Another person. That's not Scott Ziad. Another person's just mixed up, hypnotized from the parties or wherever he or she lives or watches. And that's what you have. Sorry, we had a little disturbance in the neighborhood, Mike. A little disturbance in the neighborhood, Mike. Yes, rest in peace, Kirk. Thank you, Whiskey Tango. Thank you so much. Thank you. Why you gay? That's somebody just being funny. We appreciate your donation because you know what? We'll go ahead and forward that to the homeless. So. Yes, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's looking down. Rest in peace, Renee Good. Absolutely. Absolutely. May they both rest in peace. Charlie Kirk's looking down, saying, God be with America, you know? The two-party system is tearing Americans apart. Robbie. Yeah, Robbie, you know, I don't know what else, because you got to have two parties. And thank you for the donation. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah. Look, I'm going to say some strong words here. And I know my MAGA are going to be like, Sal, you ready? I'd like the Democrat to be like a organized, moderate party. I wish we can continue like what Trump is doing and put both ideas together. You know, it should be a common sense and work together. What would work, what won't work. I just told you what a lot of people, why Donald Trump won, because majority of people do not want illegals coming here. That's why Donald Trump won in a first round Rocky Marciano knockout. That's why he won on a landslide. Okay? The second reason he won was common sense. The third reason was a better economy because they seen. And the fourth reason is they knew that Biden and Kamala and Chuck Schumer and majority of the Democrat Party did not like Americans. With that said, I'm hoping that the Democrats would certainly love America. Doesn't mean I'll vote for them because you like competition. Competition's good. In my business, I want competition because it keeps me above. So not to have two parties, but I hear what you're saying. I get it. We just got to get where we can work together. We don't have to agree on everything, right? It's just helping to make it everything I just said. But we don't have, on one side, we don't have it. And you can argue and say, well, some on the right don't have it. Yes. But we got to get it together. He's the president. He is Donald Trump. And he's running it the correct way. He is a leader, not a follower. And I'm telling you, he doesn't care about billionaires. Because if he did, he wouldn't tell Elon goodbye. Now Elon's kissing his ass. He's for all. He knows what he's for. Love for America. Love. And go out and work and do well. You don't have to be a scientist. Be well. Do well. Work hard. And don't take advantage. And give our assistance to Medicaid and SNAP and electric and child care to the American people that have struggles. Are homeless that we help. That I hope that Donald Trump can even do more on that. And yes, I called him out. Donald Trump's not perfect. He's a million times better than what we had for a long time. But anyhow, that's what we need to work on. Agree or disagree? That's what we need to do. And until that day, the Democrats will continue to lose, folks. They will continue. But do not sit back and don't do anything on November 3rd. What the hell is November 3rd? Midterms. Because if we lose midterms, we're finished. Donald Trump will stop getting anything done. We will fall apart as a nation. So we got to remember to go out and vote. All right, I'm going to read a few more here. We have 626 likes. Wow, I'm overwhelmed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the likes and the donations tonight. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in all. You are lost in midterms, somebody says. I think it's going to be another landslide. You know why? I think Democrats, Republican, and I think people are just fed up. Everything I just said, the little people, a.k.a. trolls, they're just lost people on here, and I don't even listen to them. Behind closed doors, well, they're probably only 12 years old, don't belong on here. But regardless, or they're 70 years old or 60 years old, never grew up. But regardless, don't ignore them. You know what? I forgot something. I'll be right back. A shout out to our military, the men and women that protect the United States of America, the Democrats, Republicans, blacks and whites, Hispanic, gay. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you. I salute you in so many ways. God bless. God bless. Thank you for the donations coming in. Thank you for the $2 donation. We are all one. And if we didn't have our military, we wouldn't be on a live stream. We wouldn't be able to do and have the freedom. So thank you. And thank you, Whiskey Tango, who I know is like it's going like this when I say thank you. My pleasure. Well, thank you for all the hearts tonight, last night, the night before. Appreciate each and every one of you with the floating hearts and all the donations. But I want everybody to remember that our military is not all Republicans, not all Democrat. Thank you, Maribel. Not all white, not all black. Some are gay. So what? They're protecting us as a nation. All right. So are the ICE agents. However, if you listen to some of the media, they'll make you think that ICE agents are Nazis, that they're all one color. That's what they think. But I've seen an African-American woman who came out and says, she didn't say she was a Trump supporter. She says she was hurt. She said, I'm an ICE agent. I signed up to protect America. God bless that woman. Like the Hispanic man who says, I'm for one. Many of them. They don't tell you that. They think they're some kind of a cult, that they all go to the same church, that they're all a certain color. They all shave their heads. No. That's like saying all the Italians are in the mob. Or all blacks are a certain way. All Hispanic are a certain way. No. Incorrect. Incorrect in so many ways. Cracks me up how they think that people in that church and the pastor is running some kind of ICE. Are you kidding me? Did you guys remember that? What we heard? Did I actually hear that? Horrible. All right. I stand with ICE. Alice. Thank you, Alice. How's Alice doing this evening? Thank you. Trump is cleaning house. Absolutely. Shout out to our loyal subscriber and sponsorship, MindSpeak. MindSpeak. In order for our country to work, we need balance. I agree with the balance is the only way that democracy will work. Absolutely. Check and balances. It has happened for a while already. Stop the hate. So well said. And I believe that's an independent. You know what? That's a person. That's an American. That's an American speaker. Independent, Republic. So well said. Guys, I mean, it'll get better. It has to get better. It has to. We cannot continue this. No way. I mean, not everything's going to be perfect. We're always going to have a problem. You know, I can't figure it all out, right? But we got to work this out. It's got to be worked out. It really does. Iran. Yeah, we're going to keep a close eye on that. That's another situation. Sandra, thank you for being here. And thank you for putting the American flag and being American. All right. Mega, Alice. Yes. I love the arms. Strong. I'm strong. We are strong, Alice. Sorry, I'm going like this. But you know when you eat popcorn, like earlier, and it gets all over to the teeth? Love my popcorn, but remember the old days in popcorn? You put it on the stove and now you microwave this world. By the way, did you guys see my post? There's a post. If you haven't seen my post, go check it out. And the post was this. It had nothing to do with politics. You know what it had to do with? It had to do with people that are over 50. You know what it was? When you came home from school and you put that black and white, and some of us were lucky to have color TV, not me. What was the first show you put on? Man, I was getting all kinds of response. I love that. Yeah. Life was a little simpler back then, huh? In the 70s, 60s, even 80s. Even 80s. MASH, Flintstones. Yeah, I did both of that. It wasn't so much MASH, but Flintstones. Sanford and Son, had to have a little Sanford and Son, you know. Simple shows, you know. You came home from school, you did your homework, and you turned the TV with a knob. There was no to this remote control, and you watched. And then, of course, you went out and played. But yeah, anyhow, I had a lot of, it was kind of fun. It was something different. Something different. God bless the Marine Corps. Proud daughter of the U.S. Marine. Thank you. 1965. 61 years young. Thank you. Somebody says I look stupid with this hat. Do you agree or disagree? Agree? Agree? Really agree? Broke my heart. Carmen says, sharp, Sal. Thank you, Carmen. Somebody says the disgrace. Somebody says, give it up, bruh. Give it up already. Stop it. Thank you, Palon. Thank you. Somebody called me a clown. Called me a clown. Hat looks great. Somebody said, Paul. Hat's fine. Yeah, I like this military President Trump hat, cap. Love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to sign off in about 3 minutes. Thank you so very much. Appreciate all the compliments on the hat. No, seriously, thank you so much for all the likes. I really appreciate it. Our prayers and thoughts were Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. We just got another donation. Adam Wilson, appreciate you. What are your thoughts on when Biden placed Venezuelan oil money offshore, approving a $250 million oil deal for a major campaign donor who donated millions? Biden was a disgrace in so many ways. Joe Biden, first of all, thank you for that donation. Appreciate it. Joe Biden had a clue since 1972, since he entered politics, all the way out to most recently. He had no clue what the hell he was doing with Venezuela oil or anything else, okay? This country was run by Barack Obama, Elizabeth Warren, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, and so many others. As far as Venezuela oil, that's our oil. That was always our oil. And now we're going to sell the reserves to other countries like China. He's a businessman. That's what we really should be covering right now, is how we are taking back our oil. We are in charge. We always should be number one, not China, not Venezuela, us. And we should also be freeing Cuba, taking out the drug cartels in Mexico, and Greenland. We haven't even got into Greenland yet. Yeah, Trump. Oh, I was wondering what the hell. Oh, sorry. I mistyped. I meant Trump. Google Trump Venezuela oil deal campaign. Yeah, I know. Look, that's our oil, and that's that. And now we got it. All right? And we made Venezuela a safer. Hopefully they can get the right people to run that country and run it the way. Most Venezuelans that I talk to, the only ones that disagree on getting a dictator, Maduro, and his wife out of there was the drug cartels. They were the only ones who supported that. And as far as the oil goes, our oil, it was never theirs, ours, and that's that. If China wants it, buy it from us. Anybody else wants it, from us. And believe me, this will end Russia and Ukraine very shortly, because we have Russia right where we want them too. Yeah. But getting back to Biden before we sign off, he wasn't running this nation. But I will say this. I mean, I know he's suffering. He's got prostate problems and cancer. I do wish him well. I really mean. That was one of the only mega common sense to come out and say, I hope he's okay, you know? You don't have to support him, but he was the president. He was elected president. You know, he's running by different organization. I mean, let's be honest, but wish him well, you know? Wish him well. All right. Hey, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to sign off. It's been a long live, about 2 hours. Love yous all. Believe in America. Believe what's right. Shout out to our military. Hopefully, real soon, sooner or later, that Trump can step in with the military, which I think he's already. I think there was 1,500 militaries, and we need the Insurrection Act to take over the Minnesota streets, not their businesses. We're not there to take over their churches in Minnesota. Hopefully, Don Lemon regrets what he did and is held responsible for his actions in church. Bless our troops who walk into the shadow of the valley of death because, hey, thank you, Mind Speak, because even if it was others who make this path for them, our love and prayers. And with that comment, I think we're going to end our live stream. Thank you so much. Our prayers and thoughts are with all of us, Democrats, Republicans, all Americans. And once again, I don't think Don Lemon should be spending the rest of his life in prison, but he certainly should be held responsible for another bad decision. And I also think Tim Walz, he belongs there for a very, very long time. Aside from the fraud, because that's allegedly, we don't know for sure. But he did announce that he knew about it. But I'm talking about his actions on encouraging these protesters. And that mayor too, same thing. And now will be next Gavin Newsom. With that said, thank you. Thank you so much for donating, likes, and subscribing. 677 likes. Wow, I'm overwhelmed. I'm just a small YouTube channel. We're just a small YouTube channel who work very hard and just speak in common sense. I don't have all the right answers, but I have no problem acknowledging common sense. And common sense for me is not what's happening in Minneapolis. Common sense is not what's going on. Take care, guys. I'm out. God bless you all. Take good care. Stay safe and enjoy your rest of your evening. Have a great rest of your week. See you all tomorrow. I'm out. Ugh.